Hey everybody, today we're going to be making a pumpkin dump cake, and it's really just a delicious take on pumpkin pie. It's just got a lot of flavor, and I think you'll really enjoy this. It's easy to make too, and this is the recipe I'm going to use, but if you have a favorite pumpkin pie filling, go ahead and use that, and it'll work out fine like that. So this is the way I do it, but if you have a favorite way, like I say, you just go ahead and do what you like. So anyway, we're going to get started. And in this bowl, I'm going to put my pumpkin, and I'm using just pure pumpkin. It's not a mix or anything like that. It's just the pumpkin, and I got this, I'm pretty sure, at Dollar Tree. I've used their pumpkin several times, and it's real good. And this is enough to make 2 pumpkin pies. I'm doing this in a 9x13 pan, but if you just want to make using this recipe, and if you just want to make a pumpkin pie, 1 pumpkin pie, then just half the recipe. So there's 1 can, and we're going to do 1 more. And I always like to get everything out of the can that I can. Okay. Now we're going to put 1.5 cups of white sugar. So this is a 3/4 cup, so I'm going to add that twice, and we just mix this up. And it doesn't take but just a minute to get that mixed up. Okay, now to the pumpkin and the sugar, we're going to mix in flour. And you want to put 4 tablespoons of flour. I think that might be a little much. Okay, 4 tablespoons of flour. And cinnamon. I've started using new spice containers, as you can tell. And you need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and this is 1/2 teaspoon, so I'll be doing it twice. And some ginger. I'm going to put just 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And allspice, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon. And I really like these bags. If anybody has wondered about them, seen the commercials for them on YouTube and stuff, I like these a lot. And so we want to mix that up. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And that salt really helps bring out your flavors. And just give it a mix. The next ingredient that we're going to do is corn syrup. And you need 4 tablespoons of corn syrup. And I am just going to not measure this. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay. And pretty much after every ingredient, after you get past the flour, you add it and mix. So we've gotten that in. Now we're going to do our eggs. And I'm going to do 3 eggs. And you could have these already kind of mixed up in a bowl if you want to. I forgot, so I'm just gonna kind of give them a mix and then incorporate them in the whole batter. And I kind of like to fold these or just push the batter rather than stir. To me, that gets it in there quicker and easier. So we've got our eggs in, and now we want to put our milk. And we're going to put 3 cups of milk. This is a 1.5 cup measuring cup, so we'll need 2 of these. And I'm not sure that I have enough milk out, but here's 1 or 1.5 cups. Yeah, that's just perfect. And then you mix that. And when you're making this, if you feel like this is too much pumpkin, or if you're making like a 8x8 casserole dish of it, just divide all this in half and you'll do fine. So this is all that goes into the pumpkin batter. And what we're going to do, I have sprayed my casserole dish here with Pam. Another good spray when you're baking is called Baker's Secret. And I'm going to try to get some of that so that I can use it. But you spray your casserole dish, then you pour your mixture in, and we're going to let it cook on 450 degrees for 10 minutes. Then we're going to turn it down to 325 and bake it for about 30 more minutes. But when we turn it down, we're going to have our crumb topping, or the topping that goes on dump cake. And I don't know that I'll use quite all this because it is quite a bit of the mixture. the pumpkin mixture, but let's see what we can get in here. I believe I'm going to go ahead and just put it all. It's going to be thick with pumpkin, but that's okay. Everybody here loves pumpkin, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So as I said, I will put this pumpkin mixture in the oven on 450 for 10 minutes. I may let it go 15 minutes since it's so thick. I'll go ahead and say 15 minutes. And then I'll get it out, or I won't get it out. I will get it out. And I'll put the crumb topping on it, but I'll bring you back when I do that. So I'll see you back in a minute. The filling to the pumpkin dump cake has cooked. I actually let it go about a half hour because it is so thick. And if you're not making your dump cake as thick as this, then don't let it go so long. So, as you know, on a dump cake, you put a dry cake mix on top. So I already cut the bag so I could put it on. And here is the pie. I have some rice cooking back here and it's gotten a little bit wild. So just pour your dump cake on. And then spread it out. And try to get it to the edges with the cake mix. If you have little lumps, that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, now take a stick of butter. Mine's kind of got soft while I was sitting here waiting. Also, while I'm thinking about it, cut your oven down to 325. It was on 450. Now you want it on 325. Okay. Now cut your butter in little pieces and just put it all over your cake. And they'll have to be fairly small so that you'll have enough butter. And you really don't want more than a stick because you'll just have, I feel like, way too much butter. But everybody has their own tastes, and you should do in your kitchen what pleases you and your family. If you wanted to, in the cake mix, you could add a little cinnamon or cloves or whatever kind of seasoning if you wanted to. I feel like there's enough seasoning in the mix, the filling, but it is an option for you if you want to do it. So we've got our dollops of butter, and we're ready to put it back in the oven. And it goes on 325 for 30 minutes. And once those 30 minutes are up, I'll come back and I'm gonna let it rest just a little bit. and then we'll cut it and see what we think. Our pumpkin dump cake has finished, and I let it sit a while to cool down. It was really hot. And so now it's time to give it a taste. And I did let it go for probably 40 minutes, and also that goes back to it being so thick. I think that is the reason it took a little longer. And so I think that I'll just show you. There's what it looks like. Golden brown. And I will cut a piece. And here it is. It smells really good, just like pumpkin pie. And as I said, this is really just another way, in my opinion, to make pumpkin pie with having the dump cake as the crust. And I have some Cool Whip, which I forgot to get out, so let me grab that. And it's always hard for me to get these open. So now I'll show it to you with the Cool Whip on it. And let's give it a taste. So good. It is really delicious. And I hope you give it a try, especially around Thanksgiving. This would be something really good to make. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. It always means a lot to me. And do something special for yourself and for someone else too. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.